Hey, what's up guys? It's Pedro here from newcoder.com and welcome to part 2 of building our CRUD application from scratch. So in this tutorial, we're going to be covering our server-side read portion of our CRUD application. So we're going to code 2 get routes. The first get route is actually going to send a static HTML file to the user. And the second get route is actually going to query the database for all the to-dos within our to-do collection, and it's going to return that to the user. So let's actually get started encoding this. So I'm just going to go down here. I'm going to say app.get, and we're going to give it a path of /, give it this function. And then when we get down here, all we're going to do is send a static HTML file. So I'm just going to say res.send file. And here's where our path module comes in handy. .join. Now this file doesn't exactly exist yet, but we're going to be creating this within a future tutorial. So now let's actually head on over to our second app.get. And I'm just going to call this app.get. And I'm going to call this get to-dos. Then here we're going to pass in our function, our request object, our response object. And within here, I'm going to say db.getDB. Now remember, getDB is going to return to us our database connection. So now I'm just going to say .collection, and we're going to pass in the name of our collection. And I'm going to call the method find. And we want all the documents within our to-do collection. But this is going to return to us a cursor, and we don't want the cursor. We want the actual documents. So I'm going to call a method called .toArray. And then within here, this is going to take a callback function. I'm just going to say error documents. And let's actually move this over a little bit. And then within here, we're just going to say if there's an error, we're just going to console this out to the user. But traditionally, you would want to send an error message back to the user. But if there is no error, what we're going to do is first, we're going to print this out onto the console just to make sure that we're getting our documents back from the server. And we're going to say res.json, the documents. All right, so now let's actually test this out. So I'm just going to hit Control S to save. Let's bring up the terminal. Go to new terminal. I'm going to type COS node app. Let's bring up Google Chrome. I'm going to type localhost port 3000. And we called it get to-dos. And you can see that we get back an empty array. And that's because we don't have anything within our database. So let's head back to Visual Studio Code. I'm going to hit Control-C, cancel out of that. Let's start up the Mongo shell. And now I'm just going to go back up here, Control-B. Let's find out what we named our database. So we named it CRUD MongoDB. So I'm just going to say use CRUD MongoDB. I'm going to say db. And let's go back to app.js and see what we named our collection to do. So I'm just going to say to-do.insert. And we're going to insert a couple of to-dos. So I'm just going to say to-do. And I'm going to say clean room. So let's insert that. And let's insert clean, I don't know, garage. So let's insert that. All right, so let's cancel out of that. Node app. Let's wait for our Express application to boot up. Head over to Chrome, hit refresh. And you can see that our to-dos are being sent to the client side and that it is in JSON. So this is the read portion of our CRUD application. And in the upcoming tutorial, we are going to be going over the update portion of our CRUD application.